Hi, Axie Foxy fam. We're at it again. Last time we discussed beast cards, but now we're gonna continue the discussion. But now we'll be focusing on comps, builds, and combos for beast cards. So on your screen right now, I am showing all of the beast cards available. So we have four mouth, and then six for the horn, the back, and the tail. Just for reference, um, those in red font are melee cards or melee attacks, and those that are in black font are ranged attacks. So just in case you're not familiar with it, meaning it's a close combat, meaning the Axie has to go close to an opponent to be able to do the attack. Now, ranged attack is much like an archer, much like when you're using a gun, don't use a gun. When you're using a cannon, don't use a cannon. Basically, you're from afar. You're attacking from afar. So again, those that are red are melee or close combat, and those that are black are ranged. And that distinction will be very important later. One other thing that I'd like to say is that those that are in blue cells, those three that are in blue cells, are zero cost cards. And those are very important things to consider as well. One other thing would be that um, these other cards are cards that if you watch my our last discussion, these are the cards that we are trying to avoid. Okay, these cards are mostly defense oriented, and I won't dabble with it if you're creating an act if you're gonna use it on a beast body or a beast class. You may use it on another class. Much say for example, if you're using it for an aqua or an aquatic axie. These two are special use cases. This one allows you to jump to the next axis, gerbil jump, and the other one, furball, allows you to strike 3 times, which activates a lot of poisons, and it's good for poison teams. Now, imp, as you know, is one of the most popular beast cards and one of my most hated beast cards, and you should use it very uh, carefully. It's usable, definitely usable, but you have to use it very carefully. Now, moving on, these are the other cards. Okay, cards that I recommend you using. So let me just show you what I've hidden here. So this is how I create combos. Okay, I know that on your screen right now it's gonna be very confusing because there's just a lot of words already. But bear with me. Focus on what we're on the things that we are discussing, and try not to read the other parts of the Excel sheet if we're not yet in that topic. All right. So now we're discussing the first combo, the most important combo, Rimp Donut. You should, I mean, most probably you've heard about this. This is Ronin Imp Nutcracker Nutcracker. This is good because first and foremost, it's cheap. It's one of the cheapest combinations in the game. Most One of the cheapest combinations in beast cards and also in the whole of the game, I think, because it's very popular and it has been bred a lot. It has energy gain because of Imp and Ronin combo. However, it's combo reliant. It requires you to have Imp, and I mean at least Imp needs Ronin to function. And also you need at least two nutcrackers to be able to utilize a good damage from your nutcracker. It has no zero cost card, which is very dangerous when it comes to dealing with the very popular Termies or Terminator builds or those builds that uses stuns. And one other thing is that it lacks ranged attack. If you notice here, the only ranged attack here is the nut throw or the nutcracker tail. Now, before we move on to the other combos, these are the top 3 things that I look for when it comes to creating a build. Now, first and foremost, let me just tell you that I think it's wiser for you to build an Axie based on the whole comp, meaning based on the other Axies as well. It's nice to build an Axie in a bubble, in a vacuum, as if it's the only Axie that you'll be using. That's nice. But it's wiser for you to create an Axie or build an Axie or choose an Axie thinking what kind of other Axies you're going to be using with it. Say, for example, just for the sake of example, all right? The reason that people use YAM on their plant or plant frontline is that not because the plant needs YAM, but because YAM causes poison as an attacker and as a defender, and also because they're going to be using that effect on the other parts of the comp, which is the midline and the backline, which will, will have grass snake and probably furball and some other moves to make use of the poison ticks caused by your yam. That's a wiser way to build your comp. But for now, let's just focus on building just one Axie, your beast Axie, all right? Let's see if we can get to that kind of composition in future videos. So first condition for me is for you to have melee and ranged cards on your Axie. As much as possible, make it 2 and 2. Just don't go for all melee and all ranged. Why? Because there's what we call Scaly Spoon and Bulk Work, if I remember correctly. Those 2 reptile cards are very powerful cards. They are not used as often, but they're very powerful because they reflect melee and they reflect range. Also, we have disable cards. We have Numbing Licretion and Hatsune, which disables melee and disables range respectively. That's why you have to balance having melee and ranged cards. If not, you'll be really in a very hard situation if you're gonna be facing those kinds of cards. Second, have a zero cost card, at least one, or to me at most one. There's some scenarios wherein you can use more than one, but in most scenarios, it's best to have just one cost card. All right, why? Because there's just a lot of stuns in the game. There's just a lot of terminators in the game that if you don't have a zero cost card, you can't really beat them. They can actually 1v3 you, or one terminator can decimate your whole team just because you don't have a zero cost card. Last but not the least, especially for Beast, it's important for you to go for a higher speed. Beast in itself, they are supposed to have 41 speed, which means you should never go for beasts that have 40 speed and lower. 41 is your bare minimum. However, I don't like 41 speed because that means you're gonna be at the mercy of some other conditions so that you can go first. And speed has made me win a lot of my matches. Like the match would have been a loss for me, but because I was faster, my beast was faster, I was able to win the match. So what's your target? Target is 42. But as much as possible, go for 45. 46, 47, 48, 49, that's a little too much, but who cares? The more the better. But a good target is 43, and then better is 45. 45 is really good already. It's possible for you to get 47 if you're not gonna be without spending a lot of money, then so be it. And there's a way to do that. Now, going back to the combos, to me, since I value zero cost card a lot, my first deciding factor is what zero cost card I want to use. So that's how I decided to create the combos. The first combo is the hero combo. First question is, what zero cost card? So I'm gonna use the hero. And then if I'm gonna use hero, what tail will I use? So for the tail, I can use hair. My most favorite tail card, as you know. So since I have hero hair, that's good already because I have zero cost, I have hair, two card drawer cards, and I have balance of melee and range. I can choose melee and range here. Now for the horn, I only have melee. So here I can go, I put here damage because it's anything. It can be dual blade, little branch, pocky, and arco. And then since I already have melee here, the only option that I have here is Axie and Goda. And as you can see here, I have 2 range, 2 melee, 1 zero cost card, and that's good. This is a very good card already, a very good combination. Another option for you is to go for the hero, for the Rice Goda build. The Rice Goda build is a Steel Energy, Destroy Energy comp. Rice and Hero works well together because Rice needs one card to function. And Rice and Goda works well together because they destroy and steal energy. But the problem here is Rice and Hero are both melee cards. Goda is range. And for the imp, you only have for the imp, I'm sorry, for the horn, you only have, as you know, the horns, they only have melee option. So the problem here is, I mean, you have only one ranged cards. Okay? One ranged card here. And it's really weak. Goda is not really a powerful range card. But you have huge energy manipulation with Goda and Rice, energy control for both, and then energy saving with Hero. You have 2 card drawers, and you have zero cost already with Hero. So in a way, it's still good. Another option is Hero Donut. So how does that work? Hero, Nutcracker here, and damage. So you have card drawer here, zero cost. You have donut or double nutcracker. The problem is you only have one range in nutcracker. There's no energy manipulation though, so I think this is still better. Now here, this is also not as good because you have Hero Shiba. Let's say for example, Hero, we've chosen Nutcracker. We can't choose Cotton. This is how I decide, alright? So our first focus is Hero. So since you picked Hero already, you can choose Jaguar or Ronin, obviously, right? So you go down. What do you want? Hero Hair. That's this one. Hero Rice. That's this one. Hero Cottontail. Of course you shouldn't because Hero and Cottontail, they're both zero cost cards. You'll be left with very little damage. So Hero Nutcracker, we're done with that. Last, we have Hero Shiba, and that's it. Hero Shiba, damage, and then Axie Goda. The only option here is Axie Goda just so that you can have range. Because if you go there with Nutcracker, that's gonna be all melee cards, and that's not a good thing. All right. So you have only one range. You have card drawer. You have zero cost. So it's still good, but still for me, for hero, this is still the best option for you. All right. Now we have completed all the hero cards. How about confident? So we have 4 options for confident. Again, how do I decide a build? I decide using, as I ask myself, what is my zero cost card? I want to use confident. Okay, so I have confident. Now, for the horn, I have any of these 4. So I have that. And then, next, I can't have hero for the back. So I can have Risky Beast, Jaguar, and Ronin. The problem with picking Jaguar and Ronin is that melee cards. So there's a huge chance that I'm gonna use Risky Beast. So confident, Risky Beast. And then since I have that already, I can use Risky Beast and then Shiba. Or even Rice. Even Nutcracker or even Hare. Alright? Now, if we don't do Risky Beast, we can do Confident, Damage, and then we can go Jaguar. Okay. Again, all right. Let's do it again, all right. So Confident, and then Melee. And then here, if you choose Risky Beast, you have to go for Shiba and Rice. Just so you can have a balance. If you choose Jaguar, which I like personally, Confident Dual Blade Jaguar, that's really good. It's better for you to go for Hare or not Hare, and then to a lesser extent Nutcracker. Just so that you can have a melee attack. Alright? Now, confident damage Ronin is good. Why? Because Ronin is activated by confident. So, confident damage Ronin, but you are lacking uh, a ranged move. So, you can use Hare or Nutcracker. That's for the confident. Now, as for the last zero cost, Cottontail. What if I want Cottontail? So, Cottontail, definitely I can't use any of the other tails, obviously, because you already have Cottontail. So, what if I want to use Cottontail with Ronin? Ronin, Cottontail, that's good because as you know, Ronin is activated by a zero cost card. It's easier to cast Ronin with a zero cost card. So, since I use Ronin, I don't have any option. I don't. As for the horn, there's really no option. It's always gonna be melee. But since it's already melee, and that's already melee as well, I am only left with Goda and Axie. Right? So Cottontail, Ronin, any of these 4, and then Goda or Axie. Now, if I go for Cottontail, Jaguar, it's the same thing. So it's Jaguar. Actually, it's Jaguar or Ronin. It doesn't really matter. And then after Jaguar, you can go for Axie or Goda. Now, if I choose Cottontail with Risky Beast, I will have better option because Cottontail, Risky Beast, Dual Blade, or these horn damages, I can choose Axie Goda, but I can also choose Nutcracker. Why? Because I already have range, I have melee, so I can choose melee or range. It doesn't really matter. So that's how I create a comp. Now, I think one of my most favorite comp would be Cottontail at the back. This is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. This is my favorite. Um, no, not the other. That this one. This is the one. Yeah, this is the my favorite. Axie, Dual Blade, Jaguar, or Ronin. Jaguar is better. And then instead of Cottontail, I'm gonna put post fight. So post fight is Axie is activated by post fight. Axie activates Dual Blade, and Jaguar enables us to attack first. So this is my favorite, especially if we're gonna change this into post fight. Post fight, as you know, is a bird card, and that's another option. Let's put it here. And here, since you're using Ronin, you can actually use here um, double talk. That's another option as well. Okay. So I hope you learned something new today. So that's how I create a how I decide on creating a comp. Thank you very much and see you on the next video.